I'm with WWE Hall of Famer and leader of the Four Horsemen, J Dillon, who you can watch a full shoot interview with free on the HANNIBAL TV. Had great feedback. What brings you here to the Cauliflower Alley Club?
Well, this is a must-stop for me. I found out about the Cauliflower Alley, and I think this is like 10, 11 years in a row that I've come out here. And I know that I'm going to see old friends and new friends as well. And every year it seems that the turnout gets bigger and bigger. It's from the East Coast, a little bit more of a trip where I live to get here, but it's close for the West Coast people. And this organization has been around for over 50 years, perpetuated the legacy. You can just look at the pictures on the walls around here in the room where we're talking now of all the old timers, and I still walk around the room and look, and they bring back so much memories for me, positive memories. And then there's guys that come here every year and guys that are honored. So this is, if I only went one place a year, it would be here to the Cauliflower Alley in Vegas.
Any memories of Las Vegas when you used to wrestle here?
I'm sure the first time I came here, it was probably, with all the glitz and the lights and the gambling. And then, after you've been here a couple of times, it's not as exciting because it takes a while to get here from anywhere. But I always like coming back for something like this because I know so many of the old timers are going to be here, and it's not so much the allure of gambling. I'm not a big gambler. They have a wonderful dinner and they honor different people. Shawn Michaels being honored this year, certainly a deserving recipient. So I just enjoy coming here, meeting fans and the camaraderie with the other wrestlers.
Any memories of working with Shawn Michaels when you were in WWE in the office there?
Yeah, I worked in the executive side, and I was told that Shawn Michaels was real high intensity, and I don't think anybody went so far as to say that he was hard to work with, but the words like always demanding and high maintenance, and I found Shawn Michaels to be the direct opposite for me. And maybe it's because I had been in his shoes as a wrestler and knew how to approach people, how to treat people, and so right from the get-go I had a very good relationship with Shawn, and every time that I see him, he doesn't do a lot of appearances, and when I do see him it's always a big hug and a smile, and I have yet to see him since I got here, but I'm very much looking forward to it and glad that he's being honored because, like I said, he really deserves it.
And how's Ric Flair's health doing these days?
Rick had a rough year. About a year ago, it was touch and go, and everybody saw the picture where he was in the hospital in a hospital gown, and but he's resilient. He's like a cat, got 9 lives. He survived a plane crash where he broke his back. He's been through everything, and he's to me the greatest champion. And that's no disrespect to Bruno Sammartino or Luthez or anybody else, but he's just a workaholic, and I've seen him in arenas where small town and maybe the advertising didn't get out like it was supposed to, and there'd be 500 people there. And then I've seen him in arenas where there's 25,000 people, and Ric Flair is going to give you the same effort because it's a matter of professional pride. And that's one of the things that I so highly respect him for.
And I know you were good friends with Bruno Sammartino dating back to your youth. What are your thoughts on his recent passing?
Well, I was really, really saddened. In fact, I traveled with Davey O'Hannon from New Jersey all the way across Pennsylvania to Pittsburgh to be there for his service. And I talked to his wife on the phone many times, but never met her in person. I saw Baron Cicluna's son and his wife. Dominic DeNucci was there, and it's just, Bruno was so kind to me when I was young and in college, and he was already established, and at that point it wasn't like he was kind to me because I was going to be able to do something for him. It just showed the kind of person that he was, and it was one of those trips. It was a difficult trip to make, but one of those trips I had to make to pay my last respects.
And finally, I know you knew Andre the Giant pretty well. Did you see his recent HBO documentary?
I just caught about the last 20 minutes of it, and I was glued to it, and I'm waiting to see. I'm sure it's going to run again, and want to see the whole thing. And I had the pleasure of being around Andre. When I was in different locations, I used to drive one of those extended Dodge vans with the side doors, and I had the whole interior customized with carpeting, and they only had 2 captain's chairs in the front. There was carpet all the way to the back, and there was a chair in the back, and Andre could get through the side doors and lay out completely on the floor and sleep, and he used to love to travel with me, and he was, there only been one Andre.
And how's everything going with your podcast?
It's going good. I had to be talked into doing it because I wasn't a regular listener of podcasts, and but I've been around the business for so long and on so many levels, and basically worked everywhere and probably interacted with virtually everybody that's a who's who in the business. So once I got started, it's been 40-some episodes, and I've got a comfort level, and it's just me telling stories.
And people can find that on the MLW radio network, I think. And any final thoughts today about the Cauliflower Alley weekend here?
No, I arrived, and I've yet to see like Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash and some of the people that I know are here. I saw Rashke, and disappointed that the Destroyer he's here every year, and he had surgery in his eye, and the doctor wouldn't clear him to get on an airplane by about 10 days, so I know he's very disappointed to not be here. But the original Destroyer, Dick Beyer, certainly in my thoughts, he's one of the all-time greats, and you never knew who you're going to run into here.
How popular was Dick Beyer in Japan? Because I heard that he was at like Hulk Hogan levels.
My first trip to Japan, I went for All Japan with Giant Baba, and he already was an established star over there, actually lived in Japan, and Kurt and Chris, his 2 children, went to school in Japan, lived there full time, and he remarried a Japanese woman, and he had a comedy show on TV, spoke very good Japanese, and I just was in awe of meeting him for the first time, that he was such a huge, and he wore the mask. That was the other thing. Get on the bullet train, and here he'd come to get on wearing the Destroyer mask, and nobody thought that was unusual. If we're over here in New York, the cops would be following around wondering what he was up to, but not in Japan. They all knew who he was.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have an enjoyable stay here in Las Vegas.
I will, and enjoyed the time with you. Thank you.